This video just started and half of you already clicked off because there isn't a super fast edit or someone shaking their ass to the right of me. And to make things even worse, you're in the comments right now instead of watching this video. There is literally nothing down there for you, bro. Like, are y'all really not able to sit down and watch a few minute long video without doing anything? This right here should tell you how damaged your dopamine receptors are and how bad attention spans have gotten. It's getting ridiculous. Nowadays, attention spans are equivalent to a goldfish, and it's absolutely embarrassing that society has reached these levels of low. Back in the day, we used to build and create things. Just look at how the pyramids were built. And this generation can't even stop scrolling TikTok or stop playing with themselves, and it's fucking embarrassing how backwards society is moving. And if you're a grown adult and have the attention span of a goldfish, then you may as well be retarded, straight up. At this point, you should already know what the problem is, but I'll tell you anyways if you haven't caught on yet. It's TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts. And it's not a coincidence. All of these social media platforms are designed this way. They need to keep you addicted for as long as possible and give you a cheap dopamine release, because the longer they keep you on the platform, the more money they make. So stop being a product to these companies who don't give the slightest fuck about you and take back control of your life, your mind, and stop fucking scrolling. And to prove that over-consuming social media content is ruining your attention span and dopamine receptors, I want you to pause this video and think back to the last time when you were on social media and what was the last good memory that you made. Now that you're back, let me guess, you couldn't think of anything. You probably couldn't even remember the last video that you watched. If this doesn't prove my point, then I don't know what will. This is just one piece of the problem. It's literally changing how you think, how you act, and what decisions you make without even knowing. Like, how do you think these social media platforms are able to keep you hooked for hours on end? It's not luck or rocket science. How you interact and what you watch online gets collected by these platforms, and the algorithm basically learns about you and your interests. You know what's even crazier? These social media platforms probably know more about you than you know about yourselves. And it's sad because a lot of you are like this. You're literally a slave to these companies, scrolling your life away, watching bullshit you won't remember in the next couple of hours. Like, y'all are being brainwashed and aren't even fully in control of yourselves anymore, and you don't even know it yet. And I see this shit all the time firsthand. Like, whenever I go to family gatherings for holidays, I legit can't even speak to anyone there, including my cousins that I only see like once or twice a year. Because everyone there is glued to their phones. And I'm just sitting there bored out of my mind, like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Since all of my social media platforms are deleted off my phone, so I'm not a mindless zombie that's chasing cheap dopamine. Whenever I try to start a conversation with people nowadays, the conversations are usually so vague, like 1, 2, and done type of thing. Just one-ended responses that you can't even build off of. Like, speaking with people seems fake as fuck nowadays, whether it's at school, work, family gatherings, literally anywhere. I personally know people in real life who ask me the same vague-ass questions each time they see me and only reply with one word to my answer. Like, bro, how have social skills gotten so bad that you can't even have a genuine conversation with people anymore? And whenever I do, they always end up getting triggered because they don't agree with my perspective or are offended by the truth, and they don't even try to hear me out. It literally feels like people have forgotten how to socialize these days or just don't care to. The most extreme case of phone addiction that I personally seen was when I went to the Dominican Republic in the end of 2025 with my family. Parents, aunts, uncles, cousins, friends, you name it. And this made me realize how bad phone addictions can get and how fried y'all dopamine receptors actually are. So this is where the story begins. After our plane landed, and everyone got their luggages, we all headed to our hotel in a Sprinter van, which was like a half-hour drive. My cousin, who is a year younger than me, so 22 at this time, was literally freaking out that he had no Wi-Fi or data. And he deadass couldn't even last like 30 minutes without going on his phone or on social media. He literally paid like $30 for roaming so he can go on Snapchat, scroll Instagram, and swipe on Tinder. But that's nothing compared to what I'm about to tell you next. So me and my cousin shared a room together on vacation. We obviously had two separate queen size beds, so don't get it twisted. But one night I felt like absolute shit and I had a massive headache. So I woke up in the middle of the night, probably at like 3 or 4 a.m., to my cousin listening to YouTube videos on his phone at full volume. And keep in mind, he's fully asleep at this point. But I just thought that he forgot to shut it off before he passed out, so I got up and turned off his phone. But I kid you not, he legit turns it back on like 30 seconds after I turned it off while I'm laying in my bed with my head pounding. So I try again, and it goes on for like 3 more attempts. And I kid you not, he legit turns his phone back on each time I turned it off. And I can't lie, I got annoyed. So I got out of bed and was going to confront him, but he was fully passed out. First, I called out his name and even started to shake him to wake up. Nothing worked, so I just gave up and turned his phone volume down to 20% so only he can hear it. And I was finally able to fall back asleep. So in the morning, I asked my cousin about it, and he legit told me that he didn't remember me trying to wake him up or him waking up multiple times in the middle of the night to turn his phone back on. He literally didn't remember anything. Which is wild, meaning his body must have reacted purely off instincts even though he wasn't conscious himself, which made me wonder how long he had been doing this for. And all the other nights when my cousin passed out before me, he was either watching YouTube videos, podcasts, or listening to music. And it was still playing when I woke up in the morning, which confirmed that he can't sleep without his phone. I know this because I usually woke up before him. So I asked around, and my aunt, who's my cousin's mom, said that he does this every night and can't fall asleep without his phone. And apparently he was doing this for over 5 years, which I found absolutely crazy. And I also got informed that my aunt is the exact same way and she can't fall asleep without listening to murder mystery or serial killer podcasts. And my uncle, who's her husband, told me this, and my aunt later confirmed when I asked her. Which is absolutely insane because it's not only our generation who's being affected by this, but it's everyone. Kids, teenagers, adults, and even our parents. Maybe even our grandparents, who knows? These are two of the craziest cases of phone addiction that I heard of and seen with my own 2 eyes. Which really made me think, how many people are actually like this out there? And really shows how severe phone addictions can actually get. There are so many people out there who can't live without their phones and can't function without constantly releasing dopamine, and it's actually sad. Like, I personally know people who have panic attacks when they don't have their phone with them or internet to scroll social media. And whenever I was at school or even work, everyone is just so in their screens nowadays and even walk the halls with their headphones on. Which I honestly find weird because how are you supposed to meet people or network? Your mind needs just as much rest as your body does, but constantly being on our phones and releasing dopamine isn't allowing that. And this explains why you can't think straight, have brain fog, are depressed, and controlled by lust. I guarantee you that over-consuming social media content and constantly being on your phone is the root cause of these issues. I know because that was the case for me. Like, is your life so boring that you just drown yourself in your phone? You could literally use this time for so many better things that can actually level you up in life. Your time on this earth is limited, and wasting it scrolling is the worst thing that you could possibly be doing. And we have to bring awareness to these issues before it's too late and destroys the generations to come.